Today, I'm going over swollen feet and swollen ankles. I know I'm in a great mood, but this is no laughing matter because there are 9 causes. I can see I almost ran out of fingers there. 9 causes of swollen feet and swollen ankles, with one that, in my opinion, makes up like 75+% of these. And I'm going to show you how to fix it. But we're going to go over the more dangerous ones at the beginning, how to know if you got them and how to solve them. And then we're going to go over the absolute best diagnoses, when to see your podiatrist and when it's dangerous, home remedies, stretches, exercises, massages, creams, pills, shoes, ankle braces, everything you could ever need in this video. I'm going to go rapid fire, and we're starting right after you do me a quick favor. So the number one most common cause of swelling is probably not the demographic that's watching, but if you have health issues. So I'm gonna wrap this all up into one, but things that cause swelling are heart problems, so congestive heart failure, previous heart attacks, COPD, so lung issues, smoking, emphysema. That creates a backup on your heart so it can't cycle blood through as quick and it settles down in your feet. If you have kidney issues, so long-term diabetes, metabolic problems, if you're severely overweight, your heart is not necessarily bigger and stronger, but it has to cover significantly more volume, and a higher percentage of that kind of seeps down into your feet. I'm going to bundle that into metabolic diseases. That's kind of beyond the scope of this video. You need medical management. Go see your podiatrist, go see your primary care doctor and your cardiologist, and they can help you with that because that might require diagnoses of those underlying problems. But all that stuff will cause swelling, and if you have that stuff, that's probably the number one priority for you. Number two is pregnant women. I'm going to go over this really quick, but pregnancy messes with your fluid levels. Pregnant women, you are saints for taking care of these kids and helping us husbands so we don't have to do it, but you're going to have swollen feet, sore feet. A lot of the remedies I talk about at the end will help with the swelling, but this baby, and it pushes on veins, it backs up blood flow, you have to cycle more blood than you're usually used to, and your heart's still the same size, so it has a harder time keeping up with that demand. Lymphedema, so lymph vessels. So I see this a lot. This is a pretty dangerous one. When your skin looks like it has tree bark on it, if you have scaliness, if you have like thicker, dry, crusty skin starting to develop, this can be lymphedema, and that thick crust is called papillomatosis. What lymph vessels do is they suck up the bigger proteins, the bigger molecules, and dump it back into your blood flow system from the surrounding cells. A lot of the times this can get damaged from genetic reasons, being overweight for a very long period of time, having skin infections. So when people get cellulitis or skin infections on their feet, a lot of the times that can kill some of the lymph vessels and damage them. So can injuries, long-term injuries, and this can create this thicker skin that's lymphedema differs from venous stasis or venous insufficiency or varicose veins. Venous insufficiency or varicose veins means because your heart is backed up a little bit, you swell a little bit more. And varicose veins means you have valves. So one-way valves. When you take a step and your muscles function, the valve lets the blood flow return to your heart, but with gravity, it doesn't let it back. But see, the valve doors can break back, and then the whole vein just engorges because it's not enough pressure that keeps moving it back up there. So right here is a great home remedy. Right now, especially with a lot of people working from home, you're sitting in chairs, you're barely moving on the couch. I love pumps, leg pumps. So personally, I do a lot of charting. After I see patients in the office, you want the pumps to squeeze the blood flow back up into your legs and move it up your legs and cycle it through and make your legs feel better. That's a great one for people who sit all day. That can help with venous stasis. That's a little bit different than lymphedema, even though that could help for lymphedema. For lymphedema, you want more professional pumps, and you want to probably see your podiatrist to get a prescription for these things. An infection can really cause swelling. So if you have a cut or a scrape or some type of skin irritation, infection could be a fungal infection or it could be a bacterial infection. Call your podiatrist. Things you want to look out for are open wounds, and you want redness, tingling, you want surrounding irritation surrounding this cut. This is stuff you want to look for. If there's pain, if there's irritation, if one leg's more swollen than the other, let your podiatrist or primary care doctor know, and you might want to start off on an antibiotic. A blood clot. So blood clots, most commonly, they could develop anywhere, but most commonly they develop in the calf. So this is called a deep vein thrombosis. If you squeeze your calf and it's red, hot, swollen, that could be a venous stasis or a deep venous thrombosis. So what happens is here, you want to go to the emergency room or see your doctor, and you want a venous Doppler. So a venous Doppler can show us if there's a clot. If that happens, a lot of the times you're starting on medication, so like a blood thinner to break it up. If you have a lot of these, then what happens is you might need to be on medication or even have some protective materials implanted into your body, which is called a Greenfield filter. But usually, what's a risk for a blood clot? Severe injury. So if you break your ankle, if you break your leg, your hip, if you're a smoker, if you're very overweight, the more health conditions you have, but the single biggest cause is a history of a blood clot in your family or both in you. So sometimes it's genetic as well. But squeezing your calf, a red, hot, irritated area that's not getting better. But what the real problem is, tight muscles, tight legs, tight ankles. If you wear an unsupportive shoe like this, so see how I can bend this and move it around? Look, when you walk, it bends and moves. Your muscles, your joints, your tendons have to absorb all that. Whereas if you wear a good shoe like that, look at a lot more cushion. It has a little bit of a heel lift compared to the front, a stiff back. It doesn't really bend as much. And what happens is if that shoe still doesn't help, you want to go to the heavy duty shoe. Look at all that cushion. So a lot of heel lift here, especially in the front, doesn't bend. Now the principle here is called rocker bottom. See how it rolls across? Whereas a shoe like this just lands flat. There's a theory. Should you be a barefoot walker? I'd say for the majority of the people, especially if you're swollen and sore, go with the more supportive shoe. There's a lot more evidence for the more supportive shoe. I could talk about that all day. Younger, healthy people without swelling, maybe you can train your muscles by walking barefoot. But if you're already so sore that you can barely move and you're so swollen that you can barely move, get a good supportive shoe until the swelling comes down. Then you can think about exercising. And another thing is, watch this. With gravity, look at how much this arch collapses. It stretches all the tendons on the inside of the ankle, on the top of the ankle, the outside of the ankle, all the joints. Look at the motion right here. That's not big, thick muscles. Those are little muscles that have to carry a lot of weight. Your big muscles are your calf muscles, your thigh, your hamstring, your butt muscles. Those are your big muscles. You can squat large amounts of weights with that, but with your toe, you don't want to lift 200 pounds with your toe. But that's why people's feet and ankle get swollen. Take a look at this gentleman running right here. This is stiffness through the hamstrings, through the calf muscles. The feet just kind of plunk down. They don't absorb the shock. This makes the joints and the muscles in the feet very sore and very swollen. The root cause of this is this. Look at my left foot here is a little bit stiffer than my right foot. So as an example here, look at how much my right foot bends up, but the left foot, it's like 10 degrees less. This is called dorsiflexion. So right there, see that? My left foot has to externally rotate. So what that does is now I have to compensate through my knees, through my hips. All these little foot muscles and bones don't work the way they're supposed to. See that 10-degree difference there? It makes you off balance. That's called asymmetry. So take a look at this. This is a healthy young athlete that's flexible. The feet land and they're equal. They absorb. These aren't even the best shoes. They're not the best orthotics, but strong, flexible muscles allow you to do this. On the other hand, take a look at this technique. The feet are buckling out. The ankle is rolling in. This is because this person has tight hamstrings, tight knees, tight calf muscles. They're not used to running. They're all over the place. And the joints and muscles in the feet have to work much harder. So look at the difference right here. See how in a good orthotic, it's not collapsing. It has cushion. The foot's not collapsing. You could easily move through the ankle. You can move your big muscles, but your little toes and little tendons are not getting beat up all day. So a good orthotic combined with a good shoe is a great combo. Simply doing that will take a lot of stress off there. The next thing you want to do is see your podiatrist for a biomechanical exam. Is one ankle tighter than the other? Is one knee tighter than the other? Is one hip tighter than the other? With 95% of patients that I see with swollen legs, this is the problem. You're uneven, you're leaning, one hip's sore, one knee's sore, one back muscle is sore. You want to get this evaluated. You want to work on stretching and exercising. Creams work really good too. Biofreeze is one of my favorite, but also Voltaren gel is a little bit stronger. That's a medication. See, this is lotions, essential oils. These things can help warm up your muscles and get the swelling and soreness down. Pills, ibuprofen, Aleve can help get the soreness down, but I would recommend only if you have like a week or so of pain, because if you use this long term, it's going to hurt your kidneys. It has side effects and it doesn't really get to the root cause of the problem. So don't rely on just pills that will never solve it. So the next thing too is cross training. If you're standing 60 hours a week, maybe come see your podiatrist, get a note for a chair, get some better shoes, get some ankle braces, get some orthotics, get evaluated to make sure you're not off balance. That's the real key to getting rid of that leg swelling. For 90% of people that I see, in my opinion, it's not any of this dangerous stuff. Even if it's this dangerous stuff, this also contributes. You want to get assessed by a biomechanical expert like a podiatrist. I know I'm biased, but I'm telling you, it's very beneficial. An appointment or two can really make a big difference for people. So if you're in Michigan, come see us. I'd love to give you a biomechanical exam and help you out with all this stuff. And there's fancier stuff too. There's lasers, there's shockwave therapies. We can help with all that stuff as well. So come see us. Hey, guess what? We have a phenomenal book. I believe this is the premier book on chronic nerve pain and peripheral neuropathy pain on the planet. I've put years of work seeing tens of thousands of peripheral neuropathy patients, working with some of the best diabetic endocrinologists, the best doctors, the best neurologists, in building out this book. For you, my viewers, we have a discount code available. Get on our mailing list and get that book down here.